we are going to bring on our next speaker. She's been waiting patiently in our backstage, and I am ready for her session because this speaker, she did speak last year at our conference on traditional Chinese medicine. And this year, she's also speaking again on traditional Chinese medicine. Her name is Dr. Linh Love, and she will be speaking on traditional Chinese medicine through the womb cycle. I'm so excited to have Dr. Linh Love on. Her session last year was amazing. She is also given taught a class in our BIPOC herbalism community platform where we will actually have different speakers post-conference come and give you more knowledge, and everyone loved it. I love seeing your journey and your travels on social media, and it's such an honor to have you here with us today. Welcome, Dr. Linh Love.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Yeah.
I do want to say your session title if I missed it. This session is going to be titled Traditional Chinese Medicine Through the Womb Cycle. Thank you. Go ahead, take it away.
Okay, let me share my screen. All right, everyone. I'm so honored to be here with all of you. I spoke at last year's conference and it was incredible. It's amazing. And, as life happens, you start your moon. And as you're going to talk about the womb cycle today. And so I'm in it. I'm in it. And I'm talking to you about the ancient wisdom of traditional Chinese medicine, talking about the woman's physiology and the cycle of the womb. And this is a really special topic. And I'm so excited. I have so much information to share with you all today. So I'm going to go quickly, but I'm going to leave some time at the end for questions. So please hold on for some questions. But I'm going to dive in to today's. Okay. I'm Dr. Lin Li. I'm Dr. Linh Love. I'm a doctor of Chinese medicine, a licensed acupuncturist, an herbalist, a mystic, an Asian medicine woman. I recently traveled to Vietnam to connect with my ancestral lands, to ancestral medicine. I got to study at different hospitals there and just understand how they like to do traditional medicine abroad in Vietnam. And my next place is going to be China. But I did study traditional Chinese medicine, and I'm so excited to be sharing traditional Chinese medicine because this is a way for us to stay empowered by the magic of our bodies and its rhythms. Traditional Chinese medicine is all about cyclical wisdom. So it's all about the seasons. It's all about what our own cycles are doing because our body is so innately intelligent, you guys. It is so innately intelligent that it has everything built inside for it to heal, for it to regulate, for it to remember our own medicine, our own essence, to reclaim our ancestral inheritance, our wealth, and our womb cycle. Even if you're someone who doesn't have a womb, a uterus, we each have a womb. I'm going to talk a little bit about that and how the ancient Chinese understood the womb space. But first, let's talk about gynecology from Chinese medicine, because this is what we're talking about here, right? We're talking about woman's health. We're talking about the womb cycle. We're talking about our period, our menstrual cycle, and all of the in between. So let's talk about, before we dive deep into the meat and potatoes of today, I want to give you some just historical background of women's health, gynecology, the womb cycle from ancient China. So the earliest records of gynecological medical writings dated to back centuries ago, 1500 to 1000 BC in ancient China. They had these ancient scriptures, one of them called the Huangdi Jing Su Wen, which is a classical Chinese medicine text that we use today to treat all kinds of illnesses, conditions, epidemics, things like this. But it speaks on women's physiology. It speaks on the anatomy, the diagnosis, and the treatment of gynecological conditions. So this is definitely a resource if you're like, if this talk definitely lights you up, reach out and I can send you some more information about the Huangdi Neijing. It's an incredible book, incredible resource. And Chinese medicine looks at the body through energetics. So I'm going to be talking to you about yin and yang, qi and blood, how energy is flowing, because Chinese medicine is fundamentally an energy medicine. We're working so much with qi, we're working so much with wind, fire, earth, and air. That's how the ancient Chinese understood the body, by looking at nature and seeing that whatever's happening in nature is reflected inside of our body. And nature's intelligence, nature's power and wisdom lives inside of our bodies, and we each have that. So I'm going to dive into the uterus. And before I do that, I want to talk to you about Chinese medicine principles before we get in, because this is what we need to know in order to know, what is happening in our bodies, what's happening in the uterus, what's happening in the womb cycle when we are starting our menses, when we're in the follicular phase, when we're in ovulation. We need to know these fundamental principles of Chinese medicine. So first, we're going to talk about yin and yang. Yin and yang are energies. They both represent opposite energies, but yet these are energies that are interconnected. They need each other in order for them, each part to grow, to exist. So yin is going to be representing the moon, the blood, our kidney essence. Yang is going to represent the sun, the qi, the life force that we each all have, and that energy lives all throughout all things in nature and plants and our food, in our children, our relationships. And then we have qi and blood, which is another set of energy principles that we use in Chinese medicine to understand our bodies. So we have energy, life force energy, qi, and qi helps to move and transform. And we like to say in Chinese medicine that qi is the commander of blood. And blood is the substance, it's our essence, and it nourishes, it warms our body, and it's the mother of qi. And so Chinese medicine is also so beautiful that it uses all of these family dynamics. There's mother and son, mother and daughter connections. There's mother and grandmother connections, all in Chinese medicine. So going deeper into the woman's physiology, and I know I'm kind of going fast, but I have so much to share with you guys today. So the ancient Chinese knew that the womb space, the uterus, even if you don't have a uterus, 2 to 3 inches below your navel, we have something called a dantian. This translates into the elixir field of life. And the elixir field of life, it is exactly what it sounds like, you guys. It is the place where we create, where we store, where we make magic happen. Like, it's just so fascinating to me that we can create life, we can create humans from the portal of our womb space. And this is what I'm so inspired by. And this is why I'm like, I have to talk about this because of the magic of our bodies. So, to dive into the organs and to what our body is doing inside, we have to understand that our womb cycle, our infradian rhythm, or our menstrual cycle is connected to all systems of our body, all organ systems. So today I'm going to be talking about the heart, the kidneys, the spleen in the stomach, the liver. But in particular, I'm going to be talking about the kidneys, which is the origin of our essence, the origin of our menstrual blood. Then I'm going to be talking about how our liver stores blood and our heart's role in the womb cycle. But first, we have to understand that there's many different parts that influence our menstrual cycle. So, of course, we have the spleen in the stomach. What we eat becomes the blood that we have in our body and the blood that we release through our menstrual cycle. And also, our blood is stored in the liver. So, every single part of our body has a role. Every single organ has a super special role and responsibility to the health and balance and authenticity of our body. And so I just quickly shared here the 7 year cycle for women because we each have these 7 year cycles that we go through. For men, it's a 8 year cycle. But for women, we can see here that there's different age ranges in which we go through menses, in which we experience menopause, or which we have our different energetics, yin and yang, are fluctuating and decreasing at certain points of our time. Okay. So let's dive deeper into what's going on when we are having our menstrual cycle and the connections of our heart and our kidneys and our uterus. So in Chinese medicine, we say that the heart is connected to the kidneys, and the heart has this special connection to the kidneys because there's fire and water. It's like these elemental connections. But there's another special connection between the heart and the uterus, which is called the Bao Mai. You can see here in this diagram to the right. And this is a connection, energetic connection, similar to the acupuncture meridians. But essentially, becomes communicated here. It's almost a freeway where energy gets sent up, energy gets sent down, but emotions become exchanged here. Our consciousness becomes exchanged here. So when we place our hands on our heart, we're also, in many ways, sending our energy through this meridian to our uterus and vice versa. And then also, there is a special connection between the kidney and the uterus, which is called the Bao Luo. And essentially, our essence, our ancestral energy, our developmental energy, the reproductive energy, the fertility gets exchanged through this meridian, through this road. And it's a really special connection in order for our kidneys to bring energy to our uterus for us to get pregnant, for us to create life, and then our uterus to send energy back to the kidneys to tell us, you know, if we need more energy here or if we need to bring more energy to our heart. So our body is essentially this it's like constantly communicating with each other. And we can learn so much about communication from our bodies. But I want to share a quote that is from a famous Chinese medicine doctor who brought a lot of information from China to the Western world. And he says in his book, normal menstruation and fertility depend on the state of the kidney health, the essence of the kidney, the heart chi, so where our emotions are, how our heart is doing during our cycle, during the month, and our heart blood. So our heart blood is so much about if we are pushing ourselves a lot, right? How stressed we are, how much we are nourishing our bodies. And so it really depends. Our menstruation and our fertility depend on these things. So I'm going to share with you quickly, in order for kidneys to be in good health, we have to find work-life balance. We have to find being able to, balance between all the things we're doing in our life and getting rest and regeneration. Then our heart, we have to regulate and express and clear emotions from our channels, from our meridians. And aligning to spirit and aligning to our heart's desires is so important here, you guys. It's so important to align to our heart because that is also how we spark our inner fire. Then we have our spleen and our stomach, which is eating right for your body, and our liver health, which is so much about detoxing, cleansing. And so let's talk about ancestral energetics. How do these all tie into ancestry? So the heart is our inner queendom. So when we talk about the heart in Chinese medicine, we're talking about our inner royalty. Each one of us have this inner royalty that lives within, that's constantly telling and communicating to all parts of our body. And I want to say we are energetic systems within energetic systems. So our heart, that now they're doing research, scientific research that is saying that our heart's field is connected to our parents and our grandparents and our great grandparents. So literally the work that we're doing with our own heart, with our own kidneys and uteruses are affecting multiple generations before us and after us. And our kidneys store this ancestral energy. So when we're born, we receive ancestral energy from the kidneys, from our parents, from the parents before. And it's being seen in our epigenetics, in our genes, and the ancestral inheritance of resources. And then also, I talked about this, but energy moves from the heart and the kidneys. And this is also how cervical, womb, and hormonal imbalances become passed down. There's energetic blocks that end up being passed down that we need support with. So let's dive into each cycle and the womb cycle. So I want to just quickly talk about the seasonal energetics here, because the seasonal energetics are important when we talk about Chinese medicine. The ancient Taoists, the ancient ancestors of Chinese medicine, looked at nature and said, we can understand everything that's happening in the world, in our bodies, by just understanding what nature is doing. So here we have the cycles of nature and what she is doing. Then I'm going to show you what our womb is doing on top of that, because our womb cycle is a direct reflection of what nature is doing. And when we align with these embodied cycles of our our body, of our rhythm, then we can start to live and reclaim authenticity and health and vibrant abundance and vitality that we each have a birthright to claim. So I'm going to be talking about each one of these, but first what I want us to do very quickly, just a couple seconds, is just do a quick drop in, because I know today and the rest of today is going to be like lighting you all up and sparking that fire and that inspiration. First, I want us to tune back into the body. So just taking a moment, find your breath, and just doing a quick check-in. And I want you to bring your awareness, your attention to 2 to 3 inches below your umbilicus, below your navel, your belly button. This is where the ancient Chinese say your dantian, your elixir field, or your womb is. You can even put your hand there, or even placing your other hand on your heart and just checking in. Bringing some breaths there if that feels good. And now I want to just invite you all just to just check in. How did that feel for you to just check into this place that creates all life, that holds so much wisdom of not only you, but your ancestors and those who came before you? And this place that holds the medicine and the magic. What does it feel like to tap back into that place, to bring some awareness, some love, and some support and some energy? I want you to share in the chat what that was like for you. Maybe you can share some a pink heart if that was like nourishing on some level. I know that was very quick, but that practice, something as simple as tuning back into the womb space in this in our bodies, can get us back here in the now and can feel so good. And again, I want to just quickly just point out this goddess here. We have goddess Kuan Yin here, who's an Asian goddess of compassion and love and motherly support and forgiveness. I want us to remember that when we are entering into the body, or when we're doing any sort of work, self-care, making our herbs, making our tea in the morning, making our food, being with our family and our friends, may we come into a spirit of love and forgiveness and compassion for ourselves and others. Okay, so let's dive in. That felt really good to just like come back. So let's dive into the womb cycle. And in Chinese medicine, we call the menstruation the yin phase. And so when we're menstruating, our heart is essentially signaling to the body to release the blood. And what's happening here is blood is moving through the body because the heart signal said, let's move. It's time, right? In divine timing, we move. And then this is also helping to clear old blood out. So in each phase, I'm going to be talking about the Western cycle. I'm going to be talking about energetically what's happening and what we can do to help nourish ourselves during this phase and to help regulate our menses. So during the time, during our period, during menses, we want to rest. We want to actually have some light exercise. We want to just move our body just slightly because we want to align with the energetics of what's happening. We want to slightly move blood. We don't want to push it, right? Everything in moderation when it comes to Chinese medicine, but we want to make sure we get some light exercise. And we want to eat foods that help to build bloods like bone broth, herbs that build blood, but we also want to move blood at the same time. And this phase is also related to the new moon and winter as well. So the herbal formula that I'm going to be talking about today is called Su Wu Tang, which is a famous Chinese medicine formula. I drink this every single time I'm on my period because it helps to move blood, build blood. And it's a famous formula that dates back to like back to 1000 BC. And the ancient Chinese documented this as the most useful formula for gynecology, for women's health, for helping with fertility, for helping with period care. And I'm going to be talking all about this formula because I felt like it was necessary to go deep into one formula, and 4 herbs because I really want each one of us to take and some inspiration from what the ancient Chinese really formulated here and what they created to nourish the body. So I know you see some herbs here, but I'm going to dive into each one. The first one I'm going to be talking about is dong quai, which is also known as dong quai. And many people know it as dong quai, but we know it as dong gui, which is a queen herb for the woman's cycle. And this is what it looks like fresh here on the left, but it helps to build blood. And at the same time, it helps to move blood. And it's going to be supportive for all of these different things for menstrual disorders, irregular periods, painful periods, PMS. And I want to make sure that I share the cautions and contraindications because I know I'm one of those people who are like, I want to go out to the store, I want to go get these herbs right now, I want to start like building relationship and working with them. But first, we have to also know that these herbs come with some caution. They come with a lot of care. So before we do this, we want to just know that before taking dongui, if you have a sensitive digestive system, if you have heat signs like a fever or night sweats, we want to make sure that we just want to be cautious when we're taking it. And then if you're taking any anticoagulant drugs, then also be cautious. If you have any questions about this at all, please reach out or work with a professional herbalist. That would be the best way. So I want to share some studies because this is what lit me up. I was like, yes, I want to learn about the studies of what Chinese medicine and what the practitioners learned about these herbs and how versatile they are. So using the essential oil of dong gui or dong quai 3 times daily for 15 to 20 days was 76% effective in relieving menstrual pain. You guys, this is big. This is big. I get so many clients who are like, I have menstrual pain and I don't know what to do. I have cramping. Something as simple as using the essential oil of this plant can be so powerful. It helps to regulate the uterine muscles. So studies show that if you take this, it can stimulate the uterine muscles, which basically helps to move blood circulation. So if you use the essential oil, it can actually promote the relaxation of muscles by stopping pain and muscle cramps. And I want to provide some acupressure here. So I'm going to give you some acupressure points that you can use during this phase. And this one I'm going to tell you about is called spleen 10, which is about 2 inches above your knee. So if you're touching your knee, it's about 2 inches on the internal line. So on the inner knee. And this is going to help move blood and clear heat from the body. And it's amazing for skin conditions. So I struggled with hormonal acne. I have a course on this. I talked all about it. It was something I was so passionate talking about. But I use this point all the time, and it helped to just clear so much of the heat in my body and moved a lot of energies, essentially energetic blockages that I had, and was really great at helping to regulate my menstrual cycle as well. And during this cycle, during this phase, we want to allow our body to just bleed, rest, regenerate, slow down, nourish with foods, and eat blood building foods. So let's talk about the next phase, the follicular phase. This is when we're off our menses, we're off our period, and this is the week after. So many of us might feel like a little fatigued, tired, just like, just not having it, just not wanting to do normal life. I think it's important here we learn to like integrate slowly and gracefully back into our life. And we can do this with a lot of the tools that I talk about here. So the energetics of what's happening here, we have blood and yin are the most empty or lowest during this time, right? We lose a lot of blood, especially if we have a heavy menstrual cycle. We lose a lot of blood. So we want to make sure we nourish our cycle, we nourish our kidneys. And then yin is when we're talking about yin and yang, especially about the reproductive system, hormones. So yin is going to rise, and then yang is going to lower. Testosterone and yin is going to rise. So the estrogen, the progesterone. And then we have this is a very important phase for the cycle. This is probably the most important phase if we want to regulate our menstruation. So if we have an irregular period, if we have menstrual cramps, PMS, any of these things that like block us or show up when we're on our periods, then this is a very important cycle to do a lot of self-care because it can help to regulate. And then we have an herb called Bai Xiao here. This is white peony, and this is a powerful herb in Chinese medicine. I love this herb. and it helps to nourish blood and also helps to preserve our yin qi or essence. You guys, it is so important to preserve our yin qi because honestly, our Western society is so young, it's so outwards, it's so go, 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 it's so all about like just doing, doing, doing. We have to conserve and protect our yin. And this herb can help us do that. And so it can help to support all of these different conditions. And we want to make sure also that this herb has some contraindications, like not taking it with this rhizoma variety. And then postpartum, it can also induce drowsiness. And we don't want to take it with anticoagulant or antiplatelet drugs or anti-diabetic drugs. So again, it's really great for anemia symptoms, gynecology, irregular menstruation. I take this herb all the time because it helps to nourish my muscles. Like I really feel when I take this herb, it brings the nourishment into my blood layer, into my muscles, which feels really good and feels you can just feel a big difference after you're done with menses, after taking this herb. So just some studies, because the herbs are also so versatile. So when we're taking it for our just for our period regulation, it's also helping us with our digestive system. It's helping us with our muscles and our tendons. So this is really effective for constant and chronic constipation. This is also effective for restless leg syndrome. If you take 15 grams of baishao with 15 grams of licorice given twice daily, it's 100% effective for restless leg syndrome. Like that's incredible to me. Like I just lights me up so much that it's just the magic of these herbs in our life can be so impactful. So the acupressure point for this is going to be Ren 4 or conception vessel 4. This is going to be 3 inches below your navel. So where you are pressing or where you're feeling or tuning into in your womb space, in the lower abdomen, this is where this point is. It's on your midline, and this is going to nourish your kidneys. And something as simple as massaging this, bringing awareness to the space, even holding it or breathing into it is super powerful. And during this phase, the follicular phase, the blood phase, we want to balance this out with rest and activity. So yes, we want to go and do the things and go, show up, but also we want to balance that out with carving out time for, our herbal bathing, our herbs, drinking and eating all of our blood nourishing foods. So an important thing here is we want to take breaks during heart time. So we live by the Chinese medicine clock, the chronobiology of Chinese medicine. We live according to that, and it tells us that we want to take rest during specific times of the day. And for the menstrual cycle, we want to do it during the heart time and the kidney time. So I want to talk about the blood because the blood is so important. Anytime I have a client, I'm like, tell me about your menstrual cycle. Tell me about the quality of your blood. What's the color like? What are the signs and the symptoms that you have? What's the timing? How regular is it? All of these things come into account because when we understand our period and the menstrual cycle, we can understand what the rest of our body is doing. Oftentimes, that's the key to regulating all other health imbalances in the body. Truly, because everything's so connected in Chinese medicine that when we help someone regulate their menstrual cycle, it can help regulate headaches, a weak immune system, all these other things like mood imbalances. All these things are so connected, especially to our blood, to our moon cycle. So we're going to ask these things. How thick in the consistency of the blood? What color is your blood? If your blood is purple, if it has clots, oftentimes that tells us that there's some energetic blockages in blood. There's some blood stagnation, which we would call it. If we have things like PMS, mood swings, things of these sort, that would tell us that our liver system needs some support here. So we would work with somebody with the liver system and moving liver energy if this was the case. And then we want to talk about the history, this, and cycle tracking. Is cycle tracking something that you do? For me, when I started cycle tracking, when I started living by my womb and I started teaching clients about their womb cycle, they were like they started getting lit up by this. They're like, why didn't I learn this early on in my life? Like, because when we are empowered by the wisdom of our bodies, we can start living more aligned to our own rhythms. So let's dive into the ovulation phase. This is where our heart, again, is going to signal to the rest of our body that, hey, we're ready to start ovulation. Ovulation is the time where we can get pregnant, we're the most fertile, but energy can also get really stuck during this time. So we want to make sure to clear energy. We want to make sure to move energy and also strengthen the kidneys. So we have an herb called chuan xiang here. This is a queen herb for moving energy. This is an amazing herb, you guys. In Chinese medicine, we love this herb because it helps to move blood and also helps to move qi. And it can help with all these different conditions. And of course, we want to make sure that there is some cautions and contraindications when you are planning to work with this herb. If you are someone that's taking anticoagulants, antiplatelets like warfarin, if the menstrual flow is heavy, or if you're on any high blood pressure medication, you just want to make sure to be careful when you're taking this herb because it can move a lot of energy. And the acupressure point that I want to talk about during ovulation phase, during the yang phase, is liver 8. This is around your knee. Again, this is in the inner part of your knee, so the inner leg. It's 1 inch above your tendons. So if you're like in the crease of your knee and you're feeling those tendons to the innermost part, and you're going 1 inch up, you're going to feel a really tender spot. This is a great point for nourishing blood and nourishing the kidneys. We use it so often when we're doing acupuncture for clients. It's such a great point. So using that point and then making sure during the ovulation phase that we are moving, we are dancing, we're exercising, doing things that you love, because this is like a juicy time. This is like we want to be in our most juicy goddess radiant time during this moment, because we have so much our energy, our blood is like filling up. We actually have the most testosterone during this time as well. So it's really great for planning all your big events, going to speak, going out, doing big trips, things like this. So let's dive into the last phase, which is the luteal phase. And I have so much to say on the luteal phase, but I really wanted to condense this to what we really need to know about each one of these phases. So the energetics of this time is that chi and blood are beginning to prepare. And what's beautiful is that there's divine time that is built in your body, that is built innately in your body. So your heart and your kidneys and your uterus are all communicating together, speaking this common language, and it's preparing your body for every single phase. And so the energetics of this time is that our yang is rising to help to clear yin again. So yin and yang have this really special relationship that when yin rises, yang is going to decrease. Just like the sun and the moon, right? When we have nighttime, the sun is going to go down. When we have daytime, the moon is going to go down, the sun's going to go up. Yin and yang have that exact same relationship. So that's happening in our body. When testosterone is rising, our feminine hormones are also lowering, and vice versa. And so during this time, we want to move our energy. We want to dance. We want to move. We want to sweat. We want to detox through our pores. We want to like really clear energy. This is also a great time for clearing emotional energy as well. And we want to move blood during this time. We want to warm the uterus as well. And the herb I want to talk about here is mugwort. Mugwort is one of my favorite herbs. This is going to be great for helping to warm the body, dispelling cold, relieving pain. These are all the different things. And then, of course, there is some contraindications as well. And then here are some studies. It's great for respiratory disorders. I can send you all some information about this as well. And then here's an acupressure point. This is actually 3 inches above your inner ankle bone. So pressing on this point is really great at moving our energy. And this is, of course, if you're pregnant, please don't do this point. It's contraindicated. And I talked about some lifestyle things. We want to move chi, move emotional energy, and we want to create during this time. Here are some at-home remedies, you guys. I love working with goji berries, especially after menstrual, having my period helps to restore blood. I love using these heat pads for dull, achy cramps. This actually has mugwort in it. This is a great product that you can use, just like putting it on your womb. And I use this Subu Tong from Dow Herbs. I actually have a code for this if you guys want to have it. It's a 10% off, but I love using this. I just put it, make it alongside my teas. And it's really great and easy. And this is the essential oil, and you can use safflower tea if you have really sharp stabbing cramps. And I talked about the Vietnamese herbal steams, but I really think it's super powerful doing a yoni steam to help clear out energy, especially during our ovulation phase, our luteal phase. And I love using mugwort here, and you can use other herbs that you want. But the ancient Chinese and the Vietnamese people used energy, used these herbal steams to help move energy during these times. And of course, your healing is our healing. When we do the healing for ourselves and we start to regulate and connect to our rhythms, we do it for all others too, connected to us. So these are all my recommended resources. I can actually keep this up for each one of us so we can get to any book recommendations that I have dived into. But this is what I use today. And I want to thank you all so much. I want to leave some room for Q&A. But thank you all so much for allowing me to share this wisdom with you. It is seriously like so such a powerful tool and an honor for me to share Chinese medicine with you all. And tune in with me. I have my courses, my Chinese medicine basics course, 20% off for the BIPOC herbalism community. I have a couple new resources coming out, a first aid Chinese medicine ebook that's going to come out, an acupressure mini course that's going to come out. So sign up for my newsletter through, you can go on my Instagram or go on my link tree for that. And I've also love to hear what insights you had from my talk today. So please stay connected to me, and I want to open it up for some Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you again, Dr. Linh
Yes.
Love. Always an amazing session, so rich with knowledge. We just dropped Dr. Lynn's links in the chat. She has so many amazing courses, and y'all, her courses are affordable. Okay, that Chinese medicine basics course, I believe, is like $80. She has another course for $40. And if you're a part of the BIPOC herbalism community, she did supply a discount for her course. Just go ahead into the community. If I don't think I put it there yet, it says coming soon. So just send us a message in the community app and we'll give you that discount to actually purchase her course. So thank you again. Yes, your sessions are always so amazing and so informative. We do want to ask a few questions live, and also if we don't get through all of them, if you have time, can you hop on the VIP networking session to answer a few questions? It's happening in about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So some of these herbs you mentioned, we have a question about herbs surrounding birth control. Can you use
Mhm.
some of the herbs during birth control? One person mentioned being on an IUD and they're having painful periods.
Yeah.
Um, is any of these herbs safe to use while on birth control?
Yes. Yes, I do want to say each one of them, I think it's specialized to each person's case. I don't want to say just like a full, yes. But most of them, like Bai Xiao, Dongui, are great. I want to say Chuansheng might be consult with an herbalist with that. But yeah, most of them are, unless, yeah, most of them are. That's my answer.
Awesome. Can you do acupuncture if you're dealing with blood clots?
Yes, definitely. It is amazing for blood clots. Really, really great. What's happening with blood clots is that from a Chinese medicine perspective, blood is stagnating. So blood is, if you think about like blood is kind of getting stuck and it's accumulating and it's being released from the menstrual cycle, that's telling us that there is energy blockage or blood blockage that we can move with Chinese medicine. It's such a great tool for that. So yes.
Do you have any recommendations on how to source Chinese herbs for like teas?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I recommended Dao Labs Herbs. It's a company that's created from Chinese medicine practitioners and herbalists. I would say also there's a couple different websites that I can recommend. Like there's Lhasa OMS or Mountain Rose Herbs is also great. So making sure we resource organic, pesticide-free herbs and herbs that are going to be um, sourced and created from Chinese medicine herbalists practitioners. There's also Spring Wind, which is also a really great herbal company as well.
Awesome. Let's do one more. We gotta go. Are any of these herbs used for good for women who are menopausal?
Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. We want to make sure that though, if you do have more heat in the body, if you are experiencing menopause, then some of the herbs might not be suitable, right? So we just want to make sure like energetically that we can. And of course, consulting with a practitioner or an herbalist would be great to know like the nature of your herbs. But something like we talked about dongui would be great. Bai Shao might be great, but Bai Shao might be too hot for the body. It might increase more hot heat in the body. Like we don't want more hot flashes, right? So just being mindful of the nature and the quality of the herbs too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lynn. We're going to go ahead and let Lynn go. Before you leave, Lynn, go ahead, or audience, go ahead and drop some love for Dr. Lynn in the chat. Lynn, what's your favorite color?
Pink.
Go ahead and give us some pink hearts in the chat for Lynn to show us,
Thank
to show
you.
her this amazing session. Lynn, can you mention what ebook you have in the BIPOC Healing Collection? It's going to be on sale tomorrow.
Yes. So I actually have included my Vietnamese herbal steam talk, all the slides, the PDF, all the information, all the research that I did from the indigenous Vietnamese community, the Dao peoples of northern Vietnam. I went so deep into the herbal bathing, into all the herbs that they use, and I included that a part of the BIPOC herbal healing collection. So I'm going to be having that up and link in my bio if you want to check that out. But yeah, I'm so excited to be sharing that. And I also have included my clearing acne guide. It's just like a one-page, just recommendations that I would recommend for clearing acne, clearing skin conditions. And that's included as well. So
Awesome. You all can grab that ebook tomorrow. It's going to be on sale tomorrow. Thank you so much, Lynn. We will
thank you,
see you in the back
everyone.
session. Lynn, if you should have the link. I sent it to you all yesterday for the VIP session. So
Great.
we'll see you there. Everyone else, it is now lunchtime. So what we're going to do, those of you all who purchased a VIP ticket, I'm going to close out this session. Our admin did email you all the direct link for the VIP networking session. So as soon as I close out this session in the next 10 seconds, join that link. It will be led by another one of our speakers. Hopefully Dr. Lynn and Salima will be there to answer some more of your questions that we didn't get a chance to get to. And that's it. I will see you all after the VIP networking session. Let me bring back up, trying not to go over time here. I will see you all back here, back using this link at 12:45, getting ready for an amazing session by an author who's written over 6 books on traditional curanderismo medicine. So see you all back here at 12:45, y'all. Happy lunch. See you all in the VIP networking session. Bye. Thank you, Lynn.